Good afternoon, students. Myself, Rohit Shah, Assistant Professor in Shyam Lal College, University of Delhi. I hope that you all are staying safely at home. Today, I am starting the video lecture series for the students of BCom Honors second year. The subject that I am starting here is Business Mathematics, and the very first topic which I am taking into consideration is Mathematics of Finance. The very first topic in Mathematics of Finance is interest. What is interest? Interest is the consideration given by the borrower to the lender for the use of funds. There are broadly two types of interest. First is simple interest and second is the compound interest. Now, what is simple interest? When interest is charged only on the principal component, then it is termed as simple interest. Now, what is the principal component? When we talk about principal component, we are talking about the money which the borrower has actually taken from the lender. So the formula for simple interest is P into R into T, where P stands for principal, R stands for annual rate of interest, and T stands for time. And amount, we hereby denote amount by capital S. Amount equals to principal plus interest. So we can rewrite it as amount equals to principal plus PRT, as we all know that since interest is equals to PRT. Therefore, our amount becomes P taken in common 1 plus RT. So for the clear understanding, let's solve it by an example. Now here we need to find the simple interest on rupees 5,000 for 3 years at the rate of 4% per annum. So let's solve it. So principal here is rupees 5,000. Rate of interest is 4% per annum, which is equals to 0.04. Time is equals to 3 years. Therefore, interest is equals to, we all know interest equals to PRT, which is equals to 5,000 into 0.04, which is the rate of interest, into 3, that is time. So this comes to 5,000 into 0.04 into 3, which comes to rupees 600. Therefore, our interest is rupees 600 if the interest is charged on simple interest. And amount, next is amount. Amount is equals to principal plus interest, which is equals to 5,000 is the principal and interest is 600, which makes it to rupees 5,600. Amount is equals to principal plus interest, so 5,000 plus 600, which is 5,600. Now we will solve one more question of simple interest and then we will move ahead. So the question given here is, what principal will amount to rupees 6,450 in 1.5 year at the rate of 5% per annum? So let's solve it. So the things given to us are, we know the amount is rupees 6,450. Next, what is given to us? Next, we know the time frame is 1.5 years, which we can rewrite as 1.5 year. We also know the rate of interest. So the rate of interest given to us is 5% per annum, which is 0.05. Now, since amount is equals to principal 1 plus RT, now we know what is the value of amount, which is 6,450. We now know the value of rate of interest, which is 5%. We know the time period, which is 1.5 year. So since we know all these three values, we can find the fourth missing value, which is principal. So we can rewrite this formula as principal is equals to amount divided by 1 plus RT. What we have done is we have divided this here. So our principal becomes 6,450 divided by 1 plus RT, which is 0.05 multiplied by time, which is 1.5. And after solving this, what comes out is rupees 6,000. Hence the principal component here is rupees 6,000. Now we move to the next topic, that is compound interest. So what is compound interest? When interest is compounded on principal as well as on interest, then it is termed as compound interest. Unlike simple interest, here we don't only charge interest on the principal component but also on the interest earned. Now how do we do it? Let's understand it by an example. Now let's assume Mr. X took rupees 1000 as loan and he was charged at the rate of 10% per annum on simple interest. So if the tenure of loan is 2 years, in that case the total interest that Mr. X would be giving is PRT, which is equals to 1000 into 0.10 into 2 years, which makes it to rupees 200. But if the same loan Mr. X would have taken on compound interest, then what would happen? If the interest is at compound interest, then we would have been calculated interest for 2 different years separately. So let I1 be the interest for first year. So the interest for first year is PRT, which is 1000 into 0.10 into 1, which makes it rupees 100. Now interest for second year would be 1000 plus 100 rupees, which was the interest for last year, into 10% into again for 1 year, which makes it to rupees 110. Therefore total interest as per compound interest becomes 100 plus 110, which makes it to rupees 210. Hence in the second case the difference of rupees 10 is observed in the interest, and this difference is only due to compounding of interest, which means that we are charging interest on interest. Therefore the formula for compound interest is P 1 plus I to the power n, where P stands for principal. So I equals to R by M, n equals to T multiplied by M. We know what is R. R is rate of interest, annual rate of interest. T is the time period. And what is M? M is the number of compounding done in a year. Now if interest is calculated per annum, then M is equals to 1, which means that we are calculating interest only once a year. But if interest is computed half yearly, in that case M would be equals to 2. The reason behind it is we are compounding interest twice in a year. If interest would have been compounded quarterly, in that case M would have been equals to 4, because in this case we are computing interest 4 times a year, because there are 4 quarters in a year. Similarly, if you would have calculated interest monthly, in that case our M would have been equals to 12, because we are computing interest 12 times a year. Now let's try to understand this by an example. Now in this question we need to find the compounded amount of rupees 2000 for 4 years at the rate of 6% compounded. First is annually, second is semi-annually, third is quarterly, and the fourth is monthly. So now let's solve it. So in the first part, if interest is compounded annually, so if interest is compounded annually, then what would have happened? In this case, what would be my m? My m is equals to 1 because we are only compounding once a year. My principal is equals to rupees 2000. My time is equals to 4 years. My rate of interest, that is r, is equals to 6%. Therefore, what is my I? I equals to r by m, which is equals to 0.06, that is 6%, divided by m. M is 1, which is equals to 0.06. Now what is my n? N is equals to t multiplied by m. What is my time frame here? 4 years. My m is 1, so this is equals to 4. Therefore, now we put this in the formula for amount. Amount equals to p in brackets 1 plus I to the power n, which makes it to 2000. 1 plus I, which is 0.06 to the power n, which is 4, which makes it to 2000 in bracket 1.06 to the power 4. Now after solving this, we get amount equals to 2524.95. So I write it 2524.94. So now let's solve the second part. Now if interest is compounded semi-annually, then what would happen? If interest is compounded semi-annually, which means that how many times a year am I compounding the interest? I am compounding 2 times. So my m is equals to 2. My principal is similar as it is, which is rupees 2000. Time is equals to 4 years. Rate of interest is equals to 6% per annum. Therefore, what is my n? My n is equals to t multiplied by m, which is 4 into 2, which is 8. What is my I? My I is equals to r divided by m, which is 0.06 divided by 2, which is 0.03. Hence, therefore, my amount here becomes p 1 plus I to the power n, which is equals to, my principal is 2000, 1 plus 0.03 to the power 8, which is 2000 into 1.03 to the power 8. So after solving, we get 2000 into 1.03 to the power 8 is equals to 2533.54. Hence this is the amount if interest is compounded semi-annually. Now let's move towards the third part of the question. In the third part, interest is being compounded quarterly. What does this mean? This means that in a year, we are, how many quarters are there? There are 4 quarters, which means that we are calculating interest every quarter, which means that we are calculating interest 4 times a year. So what is our m? Our m here becomes 4. So our m is 4. Principal is known to us, which is 2000. We know the time period, which is 4 years. We know the rate of interest, which is 6%. So we can calculate what is our I. Our I is r divided by m, which is 6% divided by 4, which is 0.015. We can also compute what is our n. N is equals to t multiplied by m, which is equals to 4 multiplied by 4, which is 16. Hence we can put these values in the formula and compute what is our amount if compounded quarterly. So amount is principal, which is 2000, 1 plus I, which is 0.015 to the power n, which is 16, which makes it to 2000 in brackets 1.015 to the power 16. So if we solve this, then we get the value 2537.97. Hence this is the amount if interest is compounded 4 times a year or quarterly. Now let's move towards the fourth part of the question. In the fourth part, interest is being compounded monthly. Now how many months are there in a year? There are 12 months in a year, which means that we are calculating or we are compounding 12 times interest in a year. If interest is compounded monthly, which means that we are compounding interest 12 times in a year. Hence, what is our M? Our M becomes 12. So if M is 12, principal is known to us, which is rupees 2000. We know what is the time period. Time period is 4 years. We know what is the rate of interest, which is 6%. Therefore we can compute our I. I is R divided by M, which is 6%, that is 0.06 divided by 12, which comes to 0.005. Next we can compute what is our N. N is T multiplied by M, which makes it to 4 multiplied by 12, which is 48. Now we can compute the amount. We know now all the values. So amount equals to P1 plus I to the power n, which is equals to 2001 plus 0.05 to the power n. N is 48 in this case. So after solving this, we get the value. Amount is equals to 2540.97. Now the question that arises here is how to compute this value, how to calculate this value. Now 1.005 to the power 48, you can calculate it by a calculator, by a simple calculator, but it will take a lot of time. So rather than using a calculator, we will be using tables. What tables? Now let's move towards the back side of the book. Here you would be finding some tables, which is amount at compound interest. So the formula that we are using here, you can find the formula here. The only missing part in the formula is P, which means that the value that you get here, the value would be multiplied with P to get the desired amount. So let's find for a value which is 1.005 in the table. So let's search for 0.005 in the table. So 0.005, this is 0.005 in the table, 0.005, which is 0.5%. Now what is my n here? My n here is, you can see my n here is 48. So we will go for 48. In 0.005 we will go for 48. Let's go down, and over here you will get a value which is 1.2704. So let's take only 4 digits after decimal. So this becomes is equals to 2000 into 1 point, how much it was, 1.2704, 1.2704. this is what we have got from the table. Multiply this, you will get the same answer. Now let's solve one more question of compound interest and then we will move ahead. So the question here is, a man borrows rupees 750 from a moneylender and the bill is renewed after every half year. So if the bill is getting renewed after every half year, which means that again interest is also being calculated on half year basis. So here interest is being compounded half yearly. So here my M is equals to 2. So let's write it. if interest is being renewed every half year or compounded every half year, my M is equals to 2. The principal or the amount that the man had borrowed is rupees 750. So the principal is rupees 750. It is also said that the amount needs to become rupees 7,500. So we also know the amount is equals to rupees 7,500. Here it is also mentioned that at the time of renewal there is an increase of 21%, which means here my I is equals to 21%. Now most of the students would be having a doubt why R is not equals to 21%. Read the lines. The bill is renewed after every half year and it is done at an increase of 21%. Means this 21% is not interest rate per annum. This 21% is half year rate, which means that I is given to you, which is 21%. If it would have been given 21% per annum, then we would have taken it at R and then we would have divided it by M to compute I. But since it is said that after every half year there is an increase of 21%, which means that 21% is the half year rate of interest. Hence our I is equals to 21%, which is 0.21. Here we need to calculate our T. T is not known to us because how much time we need to calculate the time T. Now we all know that N is equals to T multiplied by M. Since we do not know the T, we let it to be T, so this becomes 2T. My N equals to 2T. Now we all know that since amount is equals to P1 plus I to the power N, let's put the values. Amount is 7,500, which is equals to principal, that is 750, which is 1 plus I, that is 0.21 to the power N. N is not known, it is 2T. N is equals to 2T. So let's divide 750 here. So this becomes 7,500 divided by 750, which is equals to 10, is equals to 1 plus 0.21, which is 1.21 to the power 2T. Now let's take log on both the sides. So this becomes log 10 is equals to log 1.21 to the power 2T. The value of log 10 is equals to 1. If you look at the tables also, you can find out the value of log 10 is equals to 1, which is equals to 2T log 1.21. Now we need to find the value of log 1.21. Now how to look for the value of log 1.21? First we will be selecting the first two digits. What are the first two digits? Excluding the decimal, we don't consider decimals. So the first two digits are 1, 2. In log 1.21, the first two digits are 1, 2. So now we move towards the log tables, as you can see in the back side of the book. Log tables, logarithms. In this we will be searching for 12, 1, 2. We have got here 1, 2. After getting 1, 2, the next digit after 1, 2 is 1. So again we will be looking for 1, 2 in the one column. 1, 2, 1. We get 0, 8, 2, 8. So we'll write here 0, 8, 2, 8. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 0, 8, 2, 8. So 1, 2, 1, 0, 8, 2, 8. Now we will put a decimal point here, and before the decimal point, what would we write? Before the decimal, what we will write here is how many number of digits are there before the decimal. Number of digits before the decimal. So number of digit before decimal. Number of digit before decimal is 1. Decimal is 1. Therefore value before decimal would be 1 minus 1, which is equals to 0. hence this becomes 0.0828. So the value of log 1.21 is 0.0828. So let's put the value here. 1 equals to 2t multiplied by 0.0828. So after solving, we get the value for t is equals to 6.04. 6.04, which means that it will take 6 years. It will take 6 years for the principal, which is rupees 750, to become 7500.